address. I'm a little surprised neither of you mentioned security. We Are Columbine was just being shown at the campus theater, followed up this week by an interesting report that's saying that we are re-traumatizing our kids by doing these lockdown drills. Can you tell me your views on security in our school and how your schools are addressing that?
I can try to start. As of last year, Pennsylvania Act 44 provided for some additional grant monies that schools could qualify for in the name of security, and we were given at that time a fairly lengthy list of options, things that we might want to pursue with grant funds. And you can go many different directions with that, but obviously in the name of greater school security, there are a number of things well recognized. As we looked at our schools in Mifflinburg, it's an absolute balancing act to say that we have small hometown feeling schools and people should feel comfortable and welcome, while at the same time we needed systems that would assure us anybody coming into the school was there for a noble purpose and could be channeled properly. At the time, with the Act 44 grant funds, we opted as a school district to invest in a small police force. We hired some retired state troopers, making sure that the personality fits were good. Their primary goal within our schools is to create rapport with kids. And this was a paradigm shift in Mifflinburg, because 15 years ago when we talked about possibly having police on campus, the general sentiment at that time was, no, we don't want our schools to feel like prisons. We don't want our students to feel like they're going to be arrested, at any turn and whatever. In today's world, the police officer is anything but that threat. Our students have welcomed and embraced the police officers, and their primary role is to get to know students, help them feel safe, create an opportunity for students to share thoughts and concerns, act as a counselor at times, and it's been very well received so far. I'm very pleased with that. It's not at all made our schools feel like prisons. We have had to work on some facility matters, and as I mentioned, our biomass boiler that is coming this spring, we're also going to couple this project with some additional facility improvements in the name of security. We recognize that some of those kinds of things don't need to make things hard. They don't need to criminalize behavior or make people feel unwelcome, but we can certainly improve how our facility treats visitors and how we can maintain a more secure environment. The concern about current lockdown drills and active shooter drills and intruder drills, there is some legislation that requires public schools to do a variety of these types of drills. And we have made attempts at Mifflinburg to make them instructional for our students at the instructional level that our students can manage. So yes, we need to do these types of drills even at the kindergarten level, but our instructions for kindergartners are age appropriate. I won't speak in any great detail about those drills, about the intentions, or about how they're pulled off, because that would really breach security protocols. But I will be able to say that we have definitely recognized the impact that could have on our students, and we make every attempt to make those drills instructional and reasonable for the students at that level. Dr. Skalka, you can add.
Well, I'm thinking that I didn't speak to safety and security because right now it's a non-negotiable. We can't avoid it, and nor should we. It's something we have to address. So you mentioned Columbine, and I'll just go through a short evolution of where I see safety and security going. Columbine taught us all that we needed to do lockdown drills and turn out the lights and lock the doors. And then Sandy Hook got us all to reinforce our entrances. And people used monies to reconstruct entrances, whether you had to fob in or whether you had to have your driver's license run or any of those kind of things if you were visited. But I think the next evolution as a result of the tragic events at Parkland is this issue of mental health. And the idea being that we can harden our buildings, if that's what you want to refer to it as, to the degree that you can. But if you're ignoring warning signs, if you're ignoring mental health issues, if you're ignoring sensible gun issues, yes, I got on my soapbox, then sensible gun issues, then you aren't really doing everything you can for safety and security. So, yes, Dan's right. With respect to drills and things like that, we have never, one of the recommendations that have just come out is that there's a request to ban any unannounced drills. We've never done unannounced drills. We've always ensured that our kids know, our staff know, our parents who are uncomfortable with such activities have the opportunity to opt their student out of the drill. Like Dan said, they are age appropriate. We talk about it. We talk about safety and security with our elementary students much differently than our high school students. You're probably familiar with the acronym ALICE, which is in some ways can be controversial because the C in ALICE is for counter, and you've seen things as crazy as every classroom gets a bucket of rocks. You see that one in the news? So you could throw it at the bad guy. Well, that's not wise. It's just not well thought out. In fact, we don't talk about counter with our kindergarten kids. Just because it's part of a program doesn't mean you implement every single piece of that program. You have to do it with some kind of thought and some measure. And I'm going to refer you back to the strategic plan, and under the second goal, the second bullet point, and I think this is extremely important, says it's our goal to ensure that every student can identify a trusted adult in each school, and that in turn, every student is personally known by at least one adult. Because it's only through relationships that we're going to keep ourselves safe. Yes, the hardware and the door locks and everything are necessary, but really the next large step and the next important step for us is to ensure that we know our kids trust us, and if they know something's going on in their building, if they're friends, etc., they have a trusted adult to go to. And so that's where our emphasis lies.
It's on.
Can you hear me? Staying with that subject, when I was growing up, we had really beloved guidance counselors, tremendously overworked, and good nurses, but really it was the guidance counselors. As you're talking about cut scanner not filling positions, or Steve, the Act 44, was part of the Act 44 being able to have funds to be able to add trained guidance counselors that could do more than just try to get